Thank you for coming to our October webinar. It's going to be only Sarah and I today. Kathy's on vacation. We're very excited for her. And so let us start. Today's discussion topics. Oh, so Melissa usually starts around just half an hour. It should be done maybe by 10. And Cynthia, you can stay as long as you can, and this will be recorded so you can watch it later too. So today we're going to discuss marketing, transaction coordination, auction transactions, MLS services, NAR safety month, issues after close of escrow. And that's it. So let me start with Sarah.
All right, good morning. My name is Sarah Vance. I am the marketing director and executive assistant. So we just wanted to kind of touch base a little bit on something that we've been seeing in our marketing compliance. So the broker does occasionally go through your social media, your like Zillow profiles, your realtor profiles, any kind of online presence that you may have. We are looking at that. And so something that we are seeing lately is that we are seeing the mention of property management in profiles. It may be something that you've done in the past. And so we just wanted to remind you that it is your responsibility to maintain all of your marketing material and ensure that you're in compliance with both the DRE and the broker guidelines. And there cannot be any mention of property management in your marketing material because we as a brokerage, our broker doesn't allow or authorize property management under our broker's license. So if you want any more information on what that means, what kind of property management, what it entails, what we're referring to, there is a document under agent acknowledgements on your agent homepage that really outlines what exactly we mean when we say that. We also have a lot of great marketing material and resources on the marketing hub on your agent homepage. Thanks.
Thank you, Sarah. I'll talk about transaction coordination. So we do have our own TC now, and we're really excited about it. And we hope that all of you guys will use us. Well, let me tell you a little bit more about us. We are equipped to handle real estate contracts, disclosures, contract timeline disclosures, and ensure that the transaction files close with efficiency. Why should you choose us? You'd receive your commission check directly from escrow. TC follows broker checklists for required documents. TC uses RE Broker Group transaction platform to streamline the process. Our prices are lower to support our agents. Obviously, it's our team that's doing the TC, so we know exactly what the broker needs. What we do. So we generate and auto-populate all forms after signed purchase agreement or counteroffer. We review contracts, disclosures, for completion and accuracy. We order home warranty and natural hazard disclosures. We provide the list of contract deadlines, such as dates outlined in listing and or the purchase agreement, contingency removal deadline, final walkthrough, etc. It is the agent's responsibility to follow and meet these deadlines. So we want to make sure that you guys have all those deadlines so you know. We inform all parties on status of the transaction file. We confirm the close of escrow is as scheduled and notify parties of any hurdles along the way. We maintain secure transaction file on the RE Broker Group transaction platform, and we send links to all the uploaded PDF documents in the file to clients, so they don't have to download it. They can just open the link and they'll see it. Prices are that the single agency is $299 and the dual agency is $499.
All right. Something that we are seeing an influx in is like auction transactions, REO, things like that. So I just wanted to touch base a little bit on the different kinds of auction transactions and things to look for. There are 3 different kinds of auction listings. There is something called an absolute auction, and that's when the house goes up for auction, the highest bidder gets the home, and that's the final sales price. There's no minimum bid. A minimum bid auction is that the house goes up for auction, the seller can set a minimum bid reserve price, and if the highest bid does not meet that minimum reserve, then it remains unsold. And then there is something called a reserve auction, which basically means it goes up for auction and the highest bid becomes an offer, a sale, instead of a sales price. So then when the auction ends, that price gets put on an offer, gets sent to the seller, and the seller has 72 hours to accept or reject that offer. Next. So here's some things that we wanted to kind of highlight when you're looking at auction listings. You definitely want to check what kind of financing is available or accepted. Check if it's all cash, check if it's conventional, check if they're accepting VA or FHA. You really want to make sure that your clients are going in with all of that information. You will want to check to see if there are any prior inspections that are available prior to bidding for your clients to review. And another thing is definitely review any liens on the title. Most liens are removed after the foreclosure property sale, but there are certain liens that may remain. I've listed several here. HOA, COA assessment liens may stay, mechanic liens may stay, child support liens. If it's a first mortgages may stay if this is a second or third mortgage. Any liens that are recorded prior to the foreclosure process. So it's really important that you and your clients are going into the auction with your eyes open, really review those liens, see what's on title, see what's going to remain, what's going to be removed, because you would hate for your client to be stuck with the house with a bunch of liens after the foreclosure process. So next. Here's an example of kind of when you're on, like this one is specifically from like auctions.com, kind of what you would see, the details that they provide. You can see here that this would be a cash only. Conventional financing is not available. Who the auction is being held by. This one states that the broker co-op, there's no cooperating broker commission on this property. It's clear, not yet cleared for auction. Things like that. And so if the broker co-op states that there is no commission and it's not being offered, you may want to negotiate with your buyers to see if they will pay you a compensation, and then that would be used on the buyer's representation agreement. Next. So I wanted to just kind of touch base a little bit on what the BRE is. The BRE shouldn't just be used for auction transactions. You will want to use the BRE when you're representing any kind of buyer. This will protect you. It will protect your commission, basically stating that you are an exclusive buyer's representation for that client. So why should a realtor use the BRE? You want your buyer to be as committed to you as you are to them. All car buyer representation agreements establish the agency relationship between the buyer and the real estate licensee. This relationship may come in handy in the event that a commission procuring cause is in dispute. Why would a buyer agree to sign a BRE? The buyer's real estate licensee representative is committing in writing to look out for the buyer's best interest. Most buyers have no out-of-pocket costs to pay the buyer's representative's fee, because the compensation is generally paid by the seller via the listing agreement. The real estate licensee may more actively pursue every possible lead for the buyer because the compensation is not exclusively linked to the amount, if any, that the seller's broker promises to pay. And as market conditions change, working with a real estate licensee that is contractually committed to representing the buyer can help the buyer take advantage of leverage and market realities. So the BRE can also be used in this instance when we're talking about the auctions. If there is no broker's compensation and your buyer, this is where you would put that kind of compensation. If the buyers are willing to pay a commission that's not paid via the seller, that's where it would be placed, is on this buyer's representation agreement. Okay, perfect.
Thank you, Sarah. I will be talking about the MLS violations and fines. So we've noticed that sometimes some of our agents receive these violations without any notice or any warning, I mean, and we don't want you guys to have to pay any fines, especially if it was a misunderstanding or an accident. So we do have a list of violations that do not require a warning from the CRMLS. And one big one is that is regarding about media. Media that includes for sale signs or other references to the agent and or brokerage is prohibited. This rule extends to the use of virtual tours, which include the agent or brokerage information in or on the video's channel. This violation carries no warning because once the media is sent out to consumers, it cannot be retrieved. So you have to make sure what you actually put out, especially regarding media. And then branding of any media submitted to the MLS is prohibited $100. And that's what the little thing said. We really want to caution you against this. We've noticed some of our agents having to pay. They tried to argue and they were not successful. So we really want to make sure that our agents don't end up needing to pay a needless amount. The other violations can be found on this link, which we will post on our YouTube channel underneath the description. There's different compliance resources that we do suggest you read carefully. But if you have any questions regarding the CRMLS rules, please contact their compliance department and they will get back to you and answer. And now back to Sarah. Thank you.
All right. So October is Realtor Safety Month. So we want to just kind of highlight some of the things. NAR has a really great safety program that they highlight on their website. So the goal of the Realtor Safety Program is to reduce the number of safety incidences that occur in the industry, so every realtor comes home safely to his or her family every night. So here are some of the top 5 action items for realtors. Plan your safety strategy. There's some tips and best practices. There's training videos, personal protection resources, and take the Realtor Safety Pledge. So next.
Sarah, let me just go back for a second. I do
Oh,
want to
absolutely.
get the link to the violations. Let me see if I can select it. Copy. Andrea asked for the link to the chat. Well, Andrea, I'll email them to you. And then Donna, I don't want to discuss the fines for coming soon listing violations because I don't know the exact wording. So I'll email you the link directly too. Thank you. And let me get back to it.
Perfect. So this is just, I just wanted to highlight some of the things that the NAR put out on their website. So all of this can be viewed there. So this is something to like plan your safety strategy, something that you will implement and follow every day with every client every time. It's very important to have these habits made so that you're maintaining your safety. We always want to have the best intentions when we go to meet clients, but sometimes, it's a referral. You don't know them personally, and you want to make sure that you're being cautious. So NAR has compiled some tips and best practices from subject matter experts, law enforcement, and industry veterans to help keep realtors safe. So you can review the resources on the realtor safety tips on the NAR website, and I put the link down there as well. So here are just some of the examples that they have for you. Always meet new clients at the office or in a neutral location like a coffee shop. Never invite them to your home. Never go to their home. Share your schedule with a colleague, an assistant, or a family member. Make sure that someone always knows where you are and where you're going, what time you're expected to be back, how long it's going to be. Sometimes things change and things like that, but it's best to share with someone close to you so that they know where your last location is. Communicate safety concerns on your listing. If the house that you're going to doesn't have great cell service, things like that. Don't overshare about your personal life, especially with a client that you don't know personally. It's never great to tell them like, what your spouse does, where your kids go to school, things like that. Maintain a business professional, talk about the property, what they're looking for, that kind of thing. Don't host open houses alone. This is very important. I feel like it's always, better to have numbers. Check your cell phone battery and signal before heading to an appointment. Make sure that, your battery is not going to die. Direct clients to walk in front of you when touring a property. Don't lead them. It's never great to turn your back on people that you don't know. Always have, open body language. Never go into attics or crawl spaces or garages, places that you may be trapped. So I know safety is not always the best thing to talk about, but it's always important to be cautious. Next. So these are other resources that you can find on the website. 56 tips for realtors. It covers a variety of topics, including what to do during client meetings, safety during open houses and at showings, cybersecurity, things like that. I put the PDF link right there. We'll also put it in the description of the YouTube video when we upload it. Here's some things about your personal protection, different safety videos. And if you want to do the realtor safety pledge, that's also available on the website as well. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Sarah. So we wanted to discuss how to handle issues after the close of escrow. These do happen. We hope that you never encounter them, but they are a reality, so we want to be prepared. So should a California real estate licensee ever find himself or herself in a situation where a client is not happy with the property's purchase post-close of escrow or a cancellation of escrow, it is recommended that the licensee do the following. Send an email to the other real estate agent about the client's problem with a request for a written response, and forward the thread to the client with the suggestion that the client consult an attorney and or a third-party expert specific for the client's problem that has been raised. When replying to the client, be understanding in the email, but also state that since the transaction has closed, there's nothing else that you can do as a real estate agent or broker because you are not an attorney, licensed contractor, surveyor, small claims advisor, engineer, pest inspector, or some other third-party expert. Save all emails electronically and in hard copies for future needs. Do not volunteer to do anything else for the client post-close of escrow or cancellation of escrow other than what is specifically stated above. I know it's hard. You want to make your clients happy and have that continuing business, but we do really strongly state this. If the client asks why you cannot do more, simply state that under the California law, you as a real estate licensee have no legal duty to do anything more than what is recommended other than send your client requested documentation from your file. Errors and omissions policy does not cover anything completed after close of escrow. It only covers the transaction. Potential legal issues or EMD disputes, contingencies, mediation, and arbitration. We have this document that specifies everything that you need to know. And the document has information on legal advice, contingencies, EMD, mediation, arbitration, and links to provide your client. And so what is mediation arbitration? Mediation is a process in which parties to a dispute hire a neutral third person to help them facilitate a discussion of their dispute and the possible outcomes, with the hope of reaching a settlement and avoiding any further legal proceedings and costs. In mediation, the parties are in control of the outcome, and any settlement is by mutual agreement. If mediation does not result in a settlement, the parties are then free to pursue litigation or arbitration as applicable. What is arbitration? Arbitration is a process in which parties to a dispute hire a neutral third person to hold a hearing, listen to the evidence, and decide who is right and who is wrong. When parties agree to arbitration, they give up their right to a trial by judge or jury, and they give up their right to appeal a decision they do not agree with. So what is the big difference? A mediator uses the power of persuasion to try and steer the dispute to a mutually agreed upon solution. An arbitrator uses the power of an award, their decision, like a judgment in court, to decide for the parties who win and who loses. We do think that mediation is the best, depending on the situation, but most people are happy with the outcome. There is going to be someone who loses during the arbitration. So if you guys have any questions, please put them in the Q&A. You can email us, you can call our office. We'll be here for you all. And we appreciate that you joined us for this webinar, and it will be posted on YouTube, and we will send a link to it also in an email later today. So we'll give a minute or so in case anyone has questions.
Hi, Cynthia. You can just contact info@rebrokersca.com with any questions that you have regarding the topics discussed in this webinar. And then we'll make sure that whoever of our team members are best suited to answer the question will get back to you.
Yeah.
Now, we know it's a lot to digest. We like to try to keep it to 30 minutes. And we know we covered a lot of topics. So definitely.
So Cynthia, it really depends on what type of question it is. If it's legal, you will be talking to Sarah. But if it's a transaction question, you will be talking to one of our other team members. But info is the best way to like the best place to send your email, and they do filter them out. And thank you. I'm glad you understand, Cynthia. And then info can forward the calls, Donna. So if you call that main office and ask for one of us, we will be able to talk to you. Sarah, I don't believe she has a direct line. I do as IT support, but that's mainly what I help with is the support side. And then Sarah, there is another one. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, so I do see. So if you represent a buyer in an auction, yes, the broker fee will be paid via the fee schedule. So you'll just pay the regular transaction fee for that auction.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
Okay. Thanks, team.